Chili Chaos Unleashed. So, last weekend, my cousin Dave invited me over to his place for what he called a culinary adventure. Now, given that Dave's last adventure involved trying to cook a Thanksgiving turkey in a microwave, I was understandably skeptical. But, hey, I had nothing better to do, and the promise of free food always wins. When I arrived, Dave was already in the kitchen, surrounded by an alarming amount of vegetables and spices. "We're going to make the ultimate chili," he declared with the kind of fervor usually reserved for cult leaders or people on home shopping networks. Things started off fairly normal as they can be when Dave is in charge. We chopped onions, diced tomatoes, and argued over the correct amount of garlic. But then Dave pulled out a blindfold and a set of noise-canceling headphones. "This is where the adventure begins," he said with a grin that should have warned me to run. He insisted that the secret to his chili was cooking with the senses, which, in his world, meant blindly stumbling around the kitchen with no sense of hearing. Against my better judgment, I played along, hoping it was all part of some elaborate joke. By the time we were halfway through, things had escalated to a level of chaos that only a Dave-inspired event could reach. I tripped over the cat, nearly set my sleeve on fire, and inadvertently seasoned the entire floor with cayenne pepper. Meanwhile, Dave, in his blindfolded state, was convinced he was simmering the perfect pot of chili. The smell of burnt spices was beginning to fill the room, and I was seriously questioning my life choices. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we removed the blindfolds to inspect our masterpiece. The chili was, well, let's just say it was more abstract art than cuisine. We stared at the pot, then at each other, and burst into laughter. In the midst of our culinary disaster, Dave looked at me, deadpan, and said, "Well, I guess you could say we've officially spiced up our friendship." And that's when I realized, in the grand scheme of things, our so-called culinary adventure was just another way of saying, "You're never getting these hours of your life back."